I get to see some of his papers because he was a strong man. He reminded me of my father.
Yeah. I have one person who lives with a Vietnam veteran.
Yeah.
Who wants to know if you're familiar with post-traumatic stress disorder and whether or not either you or anybody that you knew at the time went through something like that.
Yeah. I was scared shitless when chaps were shooting at me, but I learned to duck.
So you never really had anything like post-traumatic stress disorder yourself after the attack?
And as a matter of fact, I never saw anybody that had it.
Okay.
Did you know how you knew you were going to hit an island?
Say again?
When you were fighting in the Pacific?
No.
Your last meal. They got you up at 5 o'clock in the morning, gave you a fresh water shower. Before that, you had to take salt water showers.
Right.
And that's just over the son of a bitch. Salt water showers. Makes you crusty. And they gave you up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and you knew you were going to hit an island because they gave you a fresh water shower and steak and eggs. A steak and 2 eggs. And that was your last meal. You figured when you get steak and eggs, ask combat soldiers about steak and eggs, and they said that was like you were in prison and you were getting your last meal. Steak and eggs. Remember that.
I have a gentleman that's asking, and I don't know how much you know about this, if you feel that after we beat Germany, Italy, and Japan, should we have invaded Spain?
I don't know that. I can't answer that.
Yeah, I didn't think you knew much about that part of the war.
And I had a buddy, Bill Kistler. He was commander of the VFW in Lawrence Township. And he was in the Battle of the Bulge. You ever hear about that?
Yes, sir.
And he used to go with me to the schools and talk about the war. But he wasn't too good at talking. So I had to help him. And he told me some stories that'll make your hair curl. For instance, he told me he met a guy named Kyle. He was from Philadelphia, and he was in Belgium. And it was a Sunday morning, and he had the day off. So he decided to walk into the village nearby. And he had church bells. And so he had been an altar boy when he was in Philadelphia. So he decided that he would go to Mass. So he started following these people in the town. And he heard the church bells, and he followed them to the church. And he went up to the door of the church, and he looked in, and he saw the priest on the altar, and there was no altar boy. So he decided to volunteer. So he went out and he genuflected, and he whispered in the church, in the priest's ear, you know, can I serve you, Father? And the priest shook his head. So he went in and he got the stuff in the sacristy, and the oils and all that, you know. And he came out and he served the Mass. And he did it all right. And after the Mass was over, he went into the sacristy, and what you're supposed to do is help the priest off with his robes. And he started to take the priest's robes off, and guess what he discovered?
What?
The guy was a German lieutenant.
Oh.
So he shook hands with him, and in the best German he could, he said, "Good morning, Father." And they shook hands and smiled at each other and went about their business.
Hmm.
And I thought that was a funny story.
I have a question.
He told me about the Battle of Bulge. You know, we lost 2,900 men at the Battle of the Bulge. 2,900.
Hmm.
The German wiped it, damn near wiped us out. But that wasn't as bad as Tarawa. It went in Gilbert Islands. That was next to Butari. It was the Marine job. And they lost $1,000, 1,000 men in the first 2 hours.
Hmm.
But I'll talk to you when you come up.
Yes, sir.
And write those questions down, and I'll answer them.
Okay. I had
show
one
you Peggy, I sent her the stories, and she prints them up on beautiful paper and puts them in a leather binding, and like a book.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing that.
And I got my action. I got one called 110 Minutes in the Blue Skies of Hawaii. And that's how long it took him to bust Pearl Harbor.
Hmm.
Right open.
I have
and
one.
I can tell you some personal stories.
Yes, sir.
The first shot fired by U.S. forces, the first prisoner of war, there was only one alive. And the first shot fired by the USS Ward that sunk a submarine, a mini sub, outside of the gates of Pearl Harbor, which they didn't find until the year 2000. It went down in 1,200 feet of water.
You're talking about the mini sub that they sank in the harbor before the attack, right?
Yeah, there were 6 of them.
Yeah.
They only found 5.
Hmm.
So they don't know what happened. they were strapped to full subs, larger subs, and they had 2 men in it, and they were battery powered, and they were 80 foot long, and one of them got into the harbor, and the destroyer